actually remember what I read.
I know.
Like 3 months, but I will still somehow be like, books? Reading? What's that?
Books? What happened?
I was like, I never actually checked to see if I covered off on any of the prompts that we had. So
I
did
realized I
that
was
today.
watching Victoria's vlog, and she was like talking about all the scavenger hunt, and I was like, yeah, I just threw that all on. I was like, we're just reading. We're reading paranormal this weekend, and we're gonna pray for the best.
Well, we kept it all like so basic and generic that I know that I got it covered.
Yeah.
I just don't know what specific book I would assign to each thing.
Yeah. Yeah, my blog like went live and I was like, oh, I never even I didn't include any of that information.
Yep, I didn't either. You're fine. It happens.
So we are officially live. I did check YouTube to make sure it was working. So hi everybody. This is our chaotic Love of the Night wrap up because I didn't have my head on straight yesterday. Anyways, I will let everybody run around and introduce themselves. Not that y'all haven't seen them on my channel multiple times at this point. But anyways, let's do it. Go for it, Izzy.
All right. Hello, I'm Izzy from Happy for Now. I talk about romance and manga just like Shay does, basically, if you aren't familiar with me. I don't know. That's all I got. I'm very tired.
We all are.
I have like an hour of energy left in me, and then I will be asleep here while y'all talk.
I will be surprised if I have even an hour in me, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right, Steph.
Oh, good. I'm Steph. My channel is The Novelty Corner. I talk about books. You pick your luck with what I read.
Romance. Like
I am now. It's just depends on the week and what I feel like
books and stuff too.
Yeah. I've started
doing
that a little bit more. But...
Barnes has the cutest picture book right now. I've been tempted to buy it and just send it to you because it's so cute.
Take a photo of it for me.
I will. It's called Gustavo the Shy Ghost. It is literally so adorable. Like on the cover, he's this little blushing ghost. Like he's seriously the cutest. I love him.
Oh,
isn't it
adorable?
Oh boy,
am
I gonna buy
the link? It's so cute because when you buy another kids book, what they're doing this month at Barnes is once you buy any other kids book, you get that one for 10 instead of 18.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're giving it for a really good deal.
I did film the picture books I use for Halloween because we don't have stacks of Halloween books over here because it's still technically not a thing. But there are plenty of books that I can sort of twist into Halloween without making them Halloween so that no one complains. Like,
gotcha.
I've got them. But I did just order one, Pig the Monster, which is part of an ongoing series of books here. Pig is a pug and he's a very naughty pug. So he's got a whole series of books.
Ever just brought me dinner.
I've seen the pug books.
Sugar for me.
Yeah, he's
thank you.
He's very cute.
A very naughty pug.
I love it.
All right, Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura from Laura's Library Cards, my channel, and I read romance like everyone else here. I also have kind of been branching out maybe more recently. I'd say my romance is down to like 50%, but comes and goes, you know.
And I think that's fair because sometimes when you're reading romances, you run into the same tropes and it starts to feel samey, which is why I'm not reading many historicals right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I am doing well. I am very tired. I did my first full 8-hour shift at Barnes & Noble today. It was actually really fun. We were very busy because it's a Saturday. And
I took you to the wolves.
First they really did
on Saturday.
They really did. I'm honestly okay with it though. I did okay. My feet are a little sore, but other than that, I'm actually feeling pretty good. I did get to make my first display today, so that was fun.
That's fun.
With your recommendations?
I miss making.
Yeah. So I did a manga for spooky season end cap. Because they didn't have one in the store yet. I'm like, it's October. It's spooky season. You need a spooky season end cap. Yeah. So I made it like half like horror stuff, so it's like legit the scary, and then the other half for like baby wimps like me that just have like a vampire or a demon or something like a ghost or so it's for all. And I also made sure there was a sapphic story and a male story as well, just so that everybody was represented as best I could. I mean, we can't really do much with color in manga just because it's not available, but I did what I could representation wise. So
nice.
That's awesome.
That's the one thing I miss about working in a bookstore is putting up all of the displays.
And I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. That's like my favorite thing to do is go look at all the displays.
Yeah, I like walking around and seeing, recommended by Matt or whatever. And I'm always like,
eventually I'll get one of those end caps, but I'm still a little too new for one of those.
It's okay. They've put you in charge of manga. That's your element.
It's true. That is something a lot of people don't know. They literally at the end of my second day, so my first full day behind the cash register, the store manager comes up to me and says, "So I have good news for you." I'm like, "It's my second day. How could you have good news for me?" And she's like, "We officially want to put you in charge of the manga section." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're kidding."
Are you the only manga reader there?
No.
Oh, interesting.
And so I thought another guy would be in front of me, and I'm like, "So did you clear it with him?" I'm not going to say his name and stuff.
Yeah.
But they're like, actually, he's starting massage therapy school, and he's going to be cutting back on his hours, so he can't. So, and I'm also I'm also on the short list if a full-time position comes open.
That's nice.
Awesome.
Things are very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
So how are all of you? What's going on in your lives? I've been chatting a lot. So I'm going to mute myself for a second and y'all talk.
Steph, you got your second jab. You got the
I did,
second shot.
finally.
You're feeling tired. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I knew you would go get the vaccine. I'm just saying I'm proud of you for doing it. The second one's always scary because everybody had the side effects, I feel from the second one.
Well, I think because so many of my friends have already had it, so I sort of knew going into what their side effects were. So I've sort of been trying to counter it as best I can.
It is the same thing.
Got to, every 5 to 6 hours, I'm taking Nurofen or Advil or something just in case. So I feel foggy, but I don't have the fever or anything that.
That's good. I think I really was just foggy from mine and just tired.
Yeah, I'm just tired. That's it. So I can handle that, and hopefully I won't be quite so tired tomorrow when I have to deal with the little children. But
yeah, that's true.
Oh well.
I had more of a reaction with my first shot, actually.
That's interesting.
Personally, yeah.
Because no,
mine was about half and half. I would say I kind of felt the same with both of them. But they say that
I can still only lift my arm to here.
You have already had it, which Steve and I had both thought we already had.
That's
interesting.
Yeah, my friend's husband, who's a nurse, had was knocked out after the first shot, and I was like, "Really? Okay." It was just my arm.
And the different ones, people sort of react differently to them. Some of them you react more to the first and the second. So.
True.
Yeah, my sister, the nurse, was going, everyone reacts.
I got the Moderna because if I'm going to
do this, we only got that here.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I figured if I was going to do it, I was going to do it for the one that was the most effective for the most strains of it.
Yeah.
So that's why I went Moderna.
I didn't have a choice.
So annoyed because that, Moderna only became available here 2 weeks after I got my first shot. And literally the chemist next door to me does Moderna, and I'm like, damn it. Could have gone next door. But anyway, that's okay. I'm good now. Very happy.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
My husband really had a tough time the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we did ours. We got it Friday afternoon, so he just took the rest of that Friday off.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't working that weekend, so we literally just hibernated in our happy blankets the whole weekend.
That's what we did too. It was I got mine on a Friday. His was Saturday. We hit at home for the whole weekend and just rested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got mine on both of mine on Thursdays, and so that first Friday I went to work and was like a zombie, and I literally it was halfway through the day, and I was like, I'm going home. So then I took the second Friday off, but I felt a lot better for the second time. So I was like, I was glad I was still really tired. I couldn't move my arm, but I was like, I didn't really need to take today off, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah. It was interesting.
So Tori.
Yeah.
I got my shot at 9:00 yesterday morning. Mm-hmm. So it took almost a full 24 hours for me to notice anything. So
right.
I can't complain. I was very productive yesterday, which means I can sit on the couch after this and just read and watch TV. So
that's the best plan.
I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm starving.
No, you're fine. I don't know. I'm like half hungover because I got drunk at lunch.
Nice.
On accident. We went to Mexican. We had to have margaritas.
Oh, well,
I wasn't driving. I had to finish the picture. Yeah. I'm a lightweight. I had 2.5.
We went and had Mexican like a week or two ago, and it was like the normal dinner time, you know, after a work day. I got a margarita, and I said, I'll just take a regular, not knowing how big that was. And they brought something out that was like this.
Ginormous.
It was like the size of my face. I was like, cool. And so, and they had crushed ice in it instead of like full ice. So I was like, this is going to melt really fast and it'll be watered down. So I just like knocked it back. And and so, yeah, my food came and I was like, this steak ranchero's great, guys.
Yeah. I had burrito tacos and I was just like, this is so good. Couldn't get the straw in my mouth. And I was just like, I mean, I looked at my partner when we walked in and I said, you know, you're driving home, right? I drove us there. I was like, you realize you're driving home, right? He's like, yeah.
Ben,
so cool.
Ben was like, she needs a quesadilla over here to help soak this up. So
yeah, I get cut off after she drinks in my house. It's great. They're like, you know.
I was fine by the time I got home, but like, I'm glad he drove. So, you know,
yeah. Yeah, it was a fun time. So yeah, I think that's part of my time.
Yeah,
I was like, this is a great lunch plan, and then I slept like all afternoon, and then now I'm like out of it and disoriented. So yay! But it was yummy food.
Yay, yummy food.
I'll take it.
That is the most important thing.
I was at work. No drinking at work.
Yeah, no drinking.
I drank water at work, but
we could find some way to make that happen.
Some jobs would be more okay than other jobs, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So what I want to know, what was everyone's favorite book that they read for the readathon? Because I know we had the reading sprints on Saturday. And I read one that Steph then also had to go read. I know
it's on my list, like my short list to try to get read this month.
And I feel like Shay, you'll probably be following very soon with reading it. I don't think Laura will read the Gargoyle Romance. I don't know.
It's a novella. I would try it.
So yeah,
that was pretty much my whole
favorite was.
That's my whole thing is like, is it short and can I read it really quickly? That's pretty much where my head is.
Yeah.
You just plow right through it.
That's all I read.
Yeah, I know.
So Tori's favorite was Lauren Lust. That one's been on my list, like on my radar.
On my list too. You convinced me, Tori, watching your blog. I was like, yes, I need to read that. But yeah, I want to know what y'all's favorites were because I need to know what I need to bump up my list and take off my list.
Well, mine probably won't be any surprise to anybody, but it was Wolf Gone Wild.
Yeah.
But I was like the last person in the world to read this book, I swear.
I still haven't finished it. You're fine.
I liked the second book, Don't Hex and Drive. I was a slacker and only read 2 paranormal romance. I read another paranormal book, but you all over here being like, I read like 15 books in 4 days. And
I only read 3 books, Laura.
I only read 8. That was good for me.
I guess I mean this one.
and that one.
The majority of mine were under 100 pages long.
Also, I only did 8. Most of them were very, very short.
Yeah.
I loved Witch's Wolves.
Oh, okay.
I literally
that's another one on my short list for this month.
What was good about it?
I was going to say it's short. There was one reason that I liked it. No, it's an MMF. It's kind of more leaning into the monster romance sort of stuff because the 2 guys are werewolves, but they don't shift to human, so they're sort of human-looking wolves.
Oh.
And it's Ellie Mae McGregor, and I remember reading her Christmas novella last year.
But she did Naughty just like her writing, Naughty List or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah,
which
was really fun.
Yeah, but so this one, it's basically a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, and she's running through the woods trying to escape her home, and she stumbles across these 2 guys, and they don't want to frighten her, so they don't let her look at them until they've talked to her and sort of almost calmed her down because she was, scared of running for her life because they're not human. So it was just really interesting.
Freaked out if someone was like, "You can't look at me."
Yeah,
I'd be like, "Okay."
It was an interesting concept. I have not read another Little Red Riding Hood romance retelling, so I thought that was.
I don't think I've read any either. Yeah. I literally pulled that up on my Kindle last night to start before I fell asleep, and then I fell asleep. So
yeah, there's honestly not too many Little Red Riding Hood ones out there that are any good.
Yeah, I think it's a hard. I feel like
I read a lot of retellings compared to a lot of people, but I'm very particular on the ones that I actually really like. Sometimes I don't even talk about them on my channel; they're so bad.
Yeah. I've dabbled in some bad ones and DNF'd them. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, retellings are really hit and miss for me overall.
Yeah, I'm very particular.
I'm pickier on them.
Like, inspired by this story and retellings are two very different things for me. So if it's branded wrong, then I'm upset. Like if it hits all of the right beats, like the important beats for the retelling, I'm usually okay. Yeah. But if it just
this one's probably more inspired by
the start of, and then the rest they go on their own.
Inspired by ones tend to do best.
Yeah,
I think so
as far as execution. Because I think that you can let go of some of the.
There are a few solid retellings out there, but some of the easiest ones to do are like Beauty and the Beast ones because there's just very specific beats and there aren't too many that you have to fit for that to work. So.
Yeah, but I think that when you do a retelling and the reader already is coming to it with knowing what the story, knowing what to expect and bringing expectations, like you have to meet expectations enough for them to be satisfied, but you can't be too cliche or too.
If you're too on it,
right?
Or you twist it too far, it's not okay. Like most of the Disney twisted tales, I don't enjoy because they do something that just really bothers me a lot.
That series that came out last year, the Twisted Fairy Tale.
It's like all the Disney ones that are like the YA books, where like
okay, never mind.
But
I know
they're like the fairy tale, but they have a spin on it.
I was thinking
that's okay. I say pass on them.
Yeah, I'm not. I heard they weren't good. No, I was thinking of the dirty twisted ones. The dark. Yeah, that came out last year. Like the one I read, I didn't like. I would like to try.
I think I read one or two. I didn't like them.
But then I was like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think there are some authors that I know that are doing really good work, either inspired by or retellings that, unless I hear from other people that they've enjoyed them, I'm sort of just sticking to what I know at the minute.
Yeah.
So, Laura, what was your favorite?
I think I'm going to go with Don't Hex and Drive. I did really enjoy. I read 2 books. The other one was part of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, so I did enjoy.
Yeah, you did Butch and Marissa's book, right?
Yeah, and so I enjoy going back into that world, but I think Juliet Cross her writing just grabs me, and
there's something about her wit that stands out a lot. It's like her sense of humor comes across right and hits the right beats for me.
That's literally why I paused the book. The paused Wolf Gone Wild was I wanted the audiobook. And I just haven't gone back to it. I was like, I really like this. I was like, I would really like this in audio. So I stopped reading.
You will love the audio.
Yeah, I really liked the audio because I did listen to it.
I feel like for both Wolf Gone Wild and Don't Hex and Drive, she just did really well in the development of their relationship. Like we were there feeling them fall. And that's what I want in my romances. So it was delivering,
Yeah, I'm really excited to keep going with that series.
It's so good. I'm annoyed I have to wait for the next book. My problem is I read them as soon as they come out, and I'm like, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I can't wait for the Grimm books.
The Grimm books?
Yeah, so I think you do meet one of the Grimms in Wolf Gone Wild, and then you meet a couple more in Don't Hex and Drive. Yeah. But the 4th book is following one of them, and you spend more time with them in the 3rd book.
One of the sisters already
deeply fascinated.
Yeah, one of the sisters already said, "Oh, that cute Grimm," and the main character in Don't Hex and Drive is like, cute. But I was like, oh, there it is. That's a pairing.
Yep.
That's the best part of romance books.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out for them.
I'm excited. Listen, love an interesting pairing. That was unexpected. I will say my favorite, I think, actually was In the Bedroom of Medusa of the 3 that I read by Megan.
I want to read that.
It was so unique. It is a sapphic novella that is about a woman who is a like companion. She does various activities, not just like sex work. Like she'll just sit and talk with people. And she gets hired by Lady Balisk or something like that. I'm not good at weird names. Like it doesn't happen. Specifically,
is it basilisk like a snake?
I don't know. Maybe it is. The way it's spelled just does not compute in my brain. Because it's not quite spelled like a basilisk would be spelled, if that makes sense. Like she modified it, but I think it's supposed to be at that. So she gets hired to be her companion. She can't look at her. And she's like, I just want to pleasure you. And like she pleasures her, and there's like snakes involved, which is very interesting. It was fine. Like I don't like snakes, and I was fine. So it's not like in a, do you know what I mean? Like in a way that you're gonna be.
I don't like snakes, and I loved I Married a Naga, so I totally understand.
And she ends up moving in with her, and like some stuff goes down, and it's just like a really interesting sapphic romance. Like I feel like a lot of sapphic romance lack like chemistry or plotting, and the chemistry was there, the plotting was there, and it's like 90 pages. And I was like, this is really good. And then why do I read a 250-page one that's trash? Who knows? But yeah, I was just so happy that it was good and that I enjoyed it as much as I did.
It's impressive that they were able to build in that chemistry and build up in 90 pages.
I mean, she was real good at doing what she did to her. So you were just like, yeah, this is great. Mm-hmm. And then like the Medusa's like, don't, you can't touch me. I don't want you to touch me. She's like, I think you're beautiful. And like that part, I think, is what built the chemistry there for them. Yeah, it was really good. It had like a kind of dumb third act breakup situation, but it was fine.
And that's just it. I think it's almost saying something about an author who can create that much character development and chemistry for a couple in 90 pages, as opposed to these authors who take 2,000 pages to tell you their story. Yeah, like
I think it's just really hard to write a good novella.
Something. Yeah, I think it's harder to do that in a novella than it is to do in a big epic tome. So, like a lot of these authors who are doing really good, really solid novellas, like people don't give them nearly enough credit for it because they deserve all the love and all the purchases too.
Listen, I love a short book.
Definitely do. Yeah.
Steph and I are on short book journey right now. It's like all I'm reading.
Yep.
The best.
Yeah, I like the craft of a novella when it's done well.
Are you finding most of your novellas through KU?
Mixed for me.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a mix.
That's some I bought.
I have recently. A lot of really cheap BookBub novellas where I got them for like $1 or like nothing.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of those.
Like I just bought a weird one for like $1.99. That was really interesting. I was happy to do it because I know they make more money that way than like through KU. So it just varies.
I think if it's an author I haven't tried before, then I probably start with KU, and then if it's an author that I know that I really like, I tend to prefer to purchase them because they're not that expensive.
Right. I did pick up Sanguine from Sierra Simone this readathon, which was really fun. It was sweeter than I expected it to be, but it was nice. I liked it. Vampire? It's just a cute little gay vampire story. I loved it.
It's really cute.
It was super short.
I like them.
I sat down and read it in like an hour. It was great.
See, I have that in the Australia anthology, and it's still the only thing I've read from that anthology.
I mean,
and there's like I don't know how many stories are in there. Of course I did. It's like, why did I buy that anthology? Not because it was for the bushfires, so that was fine.
Because it was for a good cause.
It has Sierra Simone.
It was for a good cause. It's fine. It's fine.
It was a great cause. Oh gosh.
I do still have Duke I'd Like to F that I need to read. That's on my list.
Well, the next one's coming out.
I know. I gotta read the other one still too. What was your least favorites? Do y'all have any least favorites?
Well, I DNF'd a book. So
I know. I was surprised you did.
I am not afraid to DNF books. I don't always talk about the fact that I DNF books, but I DNF books. I mean, I'm no Heather from Hia Booktubes. I don't DNF like she does. But I'm not afraid to like stop reading a book if I'm not feeling it or if there's something that honestly offends me. The hero in that book offended me. Like he just was unapologetically like rude and controlling, and I couldn't deal. I'm like, no, you feel too much like my ex-husband. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And I just saw myself out of that book. And I had to make sure it was just that book, not the series. And then I went to another book in the series and did just fine. It was my normal 4-star that series gets. So,
I didn't really have a problem with my other book, the Black Dagger Brotherhood one. I wanted more of the romance between our two main characters because it's very much like they're both just glad that the other person's paying attention to them. So then they're like,
right, because that one's been building since book 1.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, they've just never showed the two of them like bonding really and like having, I don't know. I wanted more of the romance between the two of them, but that's on me, I think. So I didn't hate it, but I only have 2 to pick from.
Yeah, and you don't have a lot of choices, Laura. I'm sorry. My questions are good for you.
No, it's fine.
I'm trying. I'm trying to give us some structure. I know.
Like I didn't have any terrible reads. I had some that were just okay. Like the Mounted by Monster under her bed is just weird.
It is weird.
Like, okay, that's really short. It's just weird.
I don't even know how to rate this.
It's just it is what it is. Like it's like I wouldn't know how to rate it to begin with. But no, everything else was pretty good. I think a lot of things sort of left themselves open for more books. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd be interested in reading something more in this world. So
I think mine was Witch Please by Anna Guire. Not bad, but not what I wanted. I gave it a 3.5. So again, not bad. I will probably get the sequel from the library to read. I'm not going to request an arc of it.
I'm not either.
It's a virgin baker hero and a female lead who is a witch, and she has a shop where she fixes things using her magic, and then like she's like has a crush on him, and they like relationship. Basically, it's very just like low A, like not in a bad
Honestly,
way.
it felt like a beach read. But
it 100% is the book you want to read on the beach, like, you know, or when you're on vacation. It wasn't bad.
It's a plain book.
Yeah, it is. But there's like witch hunter introduced, and then like nothing happens with it, but it's going to be in book 2 with her sister. And I was like, you can't tell me there's this British man or Irish, whatever the fuck, showing up to the small town in like Illinois or Indiana. It's in the Midwest, and it's a couple hours from Chicago, so it could be either state. And I'm like, you got like, and he's just like looking for her because they sense the magic, and I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on? Oh, and her mom's like been disowned by her grandmother, disowned the mom of the girls because magic.
It has been a long time, Mark. I hope you're well.
And like, yeah, it was not bad. It just was not, I don't know. These new witchy contemporaries, I'm very unsure of.
Yeah. So I think like in my head for Anna Guire, I just think Strange Love, which is just completely out there. And so to hear that something is sort of just average, I'm like, but I want
that's the problem. Like that's my problem, right? Is like I'm like thinking like Strange Love. She has that Paranormal Shifter series that people like. I've not read it. I've heard good things. And again, not bad. It just was such a transition away from
so fluffy.
It was. It was weird how fluffy it was. Like I was like, there's no like it was no.
I was like, for a witchy book, this doesn't feel witchy at all. This kind of feels like a Hallmark movie.
It does. And it's like all of these witchy contemporaries apparently are that way, is what I'm hearing. They're like, there's no world building, there's no setup as to why there's magic.
Yeah,
and I'm like very
haven't
confused.
picked up the X-Hex for that reason.
I was like, I'm a paranormal reader. What is going on?
And I think that's the other reason why I like the Stay a Spell series, because it feels like a witch book. Like it still has the lighthearted rom-com feel to it, but it feels like this is a magical world, whereas
like
I get the feeling that some
actually.
of the other ones they're trying to appeal to a market that might not necessarily normally pick up a paranormal romance.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's my guess.
I think there's something to be said for making something very contemporary and relatable. I think that, like, you know, if you think of Sabrina, you know, the teenage witch, you know, like she's contemporary, she's connecting with the readers, and Stay a Spell is just set in modern day. They have cell phones, you know, a lot of that is very easily, you don't have to explain this whole world and fated mates and magic ties, but then yet she manages to build this whole world by just saying things like, oh, we have council meetings and we, you know, meet up with other people. And it's like they have a little community even just in this small area. So it feels more full without having to explain the minutia of how things work.
I think it also helps, like, when I was reading like Wolf Gone Wild, like there were other creatures and there are not other creatures. It's only witches that exist in this world. So it, at least from what we were told in book 1, because I think she made a joke about werewolves and they were like, no. Or something. But yeah, it just felt, it was weird. It just felt like hollow, I guess.
Yeah. It felt two-dimensional. Like it didn't give you quite enough. You wanted more. And it was sad because Titus, the hero, was such a sweet cinnamon roll. I did like Titus. I liked him a lot.
Liked him, and I really liked his storyline. But then we just had like weird parental issues.
Right. That's why I'm like, yeah, you might have to deal with alpha holes sometimes in paranormal, but at least when you're going into paranormal, you expect an alpha hole. When you get not an alpha hole, you're like, oh, yay.
Yeah.
So, like, I think I'd just rather know what to expect when I go into a paranormal than have this paranormal looking contemporary end up having it be a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't mind if it gets a little alpha, and I don't mind if it gets a little dark. So I think that's why I just stick with my paranormal.
So I'm curious to see how book 2 is about her sister.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, I would check it out from the library or borrow it from KU if it was available or something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't pay for it, and I wouldn't request an ARC for it.
Interesting.
Because I want to save the ARCs for people who would probably want a better rating than I would.
Yeah, exactly.
I've gotten to the point where I have to get so much pickier with what I request anyway. My time is much more limited now. I feel like I haven't read anything this week.
Yeah. I just looked at our scavenger hunt prompts just right now. And I think that I could make most of them work for both of my books, all except for the Shift Baby Shift, because both of mine ended up being like vampires instead of and werewolves.
But Don't Hex and Drive had cameos from the Shifters.
Yes, that's true. So if I wanted to really kind of push it, there were werewolves on the periphery, but everything else was like, that was straightforward and on page. So yeah, I did pretty well.
Yeah, I ended up doing them all.
I think I hit them all.
Yeah,
I could do them all with one book, technically. Yeah. My Christine Feehan book, I could do them all. But I still wanted like a vampire book, and I read The Merman's Kiss as well, which was interesting.
Yeah.
That book solely relied on banging, I can tell you that.
Okay.
It was the plot. I haven't read the plot, but I think
it was fine. It was like a 3.5. It was about what I expected it to be, so I wasn't disappointed by it.
One I didn't get was shifting, but I guess the gargoyle one can kind of count because he like unshifts.
He shifted back. Yeah. So
no, he stays a gargoyle, but he shifts like to being able to move, kind of.
I say it counts.
Him. It's close enough.
Yeah.
How about you, Steph?
Oh, I use for a shifter one. There was a Lady of Rooksgrave Manor because that just has pretty much all of the all of the different characters. But Hell's Bell
that's another one I have to get read this
Carrie Arthur.
Oh, was that one good?
Rooksgrave is very Hell's Bell or Rooksgrave.
Hell's Bell. I watched your vlog and now I've totally blanked on that series if it's good or not.
So it's the Lizzie Gray series. I enjoy it, but it's set in my state, So, but it's interesting because the world setup is sort of you've got your tiered supernatural level. So the witches sort of have places on councils, and they have a witch university and things like that around the country. And werewolves sort of have these, they own or they have reservation land that they're in control of. And each reservation needs one witch representative to help control the, they have like a magic well in each area. And so the Lizzie Grace comes from a family of witches, but she doesn't have super strong magic on her own. But she has a familiar who is a human, which is very weird. And it's her best friend who's also a witch, and the two amplify each other's powers. And they've moved into this reservation, a werewolf reservation, where they're very distrustful of witches because of something that happened there. And they're trying to find a way to stay without revealing how much magic they have, because they're there to open a cafe and maybe do some light magic, but nothing serious. And then they have murder and shenanigans and all sorts of things happening. So I'm enjoying it because it's nice to find something set here.
Yeah, that's because I read the first book in the Riley Jensen series by that author. So I was like, I wonder how that is. I just never.
Yeah, I think I've read that first Riley Jensen book. I really like this one. I'm sort of invested now.
Okay. Oh yeah, she lives in Australia. That's cool. You're right. I don't read a lot of stuff that's set in Australia, which is interesting.
This is something I don't see a lot getting published here, which is a bummer.
Yeah. This is not paranormal, but just on that note, we were talking about Not My Type last week. Evie Mitchell is Australian as well.
Oh,
so I keep finding Australian authors,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm so excited. The second I saw that you'd read it, I'm like, this is moving up my list now.
Yeah, I read 3 of her books last week because as soon as I read Not My Type, I'm like, because it clicked because she had an acknowledgement of country at the front of her book, which is something you don't often see. But I'm like slowly building up my list of Australian romance authors. I'm just like,
are we gonna get a rec video eventually of just like Australian authors to read, please?
Well, I feel like doing one that's like all these authors that you don't realize are Australian but are actually Australian.
Yeah, that would be great too. Because
as I get some.
Find them and I'm like, oh wait, what? I'm like,
oh, well, that's why I fell off my chair when I realized T.L. Swan was Australian and Sally Thorne because I didn't know them beforehand.
Nice.
So yes, I will work on it. But I'm hoping to find some more paranormal romance writers here. So that's my ever ongoing quest.
I always get excited when I find authors that live in the same state as me. I'm like, holy shit. There's something to be said about seeing your home or somewhere where you're really familiar with on page. I think you just connect with it a little bit quicker rather than because you can make a mental image in your head even if it's not exactly the same. If it just makes it a bit easier because it's also like that series, the Lizzie Grace series, is set in regional Victoria, which is sort of an hour or two away from where I am. But I've spent time. In regional Vic, so I can picture this. It's great.
That's great.
I have not had that experience very many times in my life. The one that comes to mind is what is it called? It's something Tom Hanks. It's a romance book. It's like
Waiting for Tom Hanks.
Yeah, it takes place in Columbus, which is not that far from me, and I go to all the time. And she mentions the D&D place store that I've been to with my husband, and she mentions the Book Loft that I've been to, which is like a famous tourist destination too. But I was just like, I've been there. I know what it is, and it was like that actually bumped it up a star for me because I didn't really like the book. But I was like, I was kind of disappointed, but I was like, I know this place.
Yeah, it's an interesting feeling when it happens. I'm always like, holy shit. And I've lived all over, but it's just, and I've lived all over and it still doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
I've lived in 9 states.
Well, there's a lot of places. A lot of books are just set in a small town.
Generic.
They're like Sunnyvale, and you're like, okay, this isn't a real place.
Right. Yeah. So when people write about places near me, they're usually saying something bad about a lot of the people that live here. So finding nice representation of the area that I live in is not typically found in the types of things that I read. So
yeah.
Though I'm from Ohio, so a lot of time people are like, "Oh, you're from Ohio?" Like in books, it's like that's what they're like.
Hey,
if you're from nowhere,
it's better
Ohio,
than the Utah
like,
thing. So
I mean, we just get told we're idiots down here, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, we just get told we're in a cult every day. So
I know. I was saying it's not much different in the South. Often in books, we get demeaned for being Southern and told we're dumbasses.
Honestly, that's why I like certain paranormal series, because they take place in the South and they're always very intelligent, very well to do, and I like seeing that.
I mean, majority are down here. Like it's much more. It's much different than what people expect. I guess that's what I would say.
Yeah, like the Christine Fian Leopard Shifter series. Most of that primarily takes place like Louisiana area. Actually,
I mean that's a staple of all the paranormal. So I feel like there's at least one book every time that is in New Orleans. And it's a paranormal story.
But they're like not necessarily like New Orleans proper.
Yeah.
They're more like in the swamps and in the bayou, like
where I lived when I lived there.
I wonder why.
But I think that's pretty common.
I think it's just naturally just kind of an eerie setting. Just
it's a real weird place.
With the lighting and the swamp water and the willow vinies and all the stuff.
Just bridges that go over water for miles that are very uncomfortable to drive. It's not fun time. Don't like it. Did not like.
Hard pass.
Yeah. There are things I liked about living in that state.
All right. So from what everybody else read, are there paranormals now on your TBR? I can definitely say yes, because Flesh and Stone is on mine.
Yeah. Well, I did pick that one up, but I am going to read the Medusa one.
Yeah, I'm interested in
the other one that's on my list is the Medusa one.
Yeah. I think I might pick up this witch one that Blood Kiss is the first book. I went to go pull it up. I was like, wait. I'm thinking about maybe picking that up because I'm seeing that my library has an audio of it.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, when you were talking about the Carrie Arthur series, I was like, I should look to see if it's available in my library.
Yeah. I tend to like the paranormal romance that also feels a bit urban fantasy like. So it's very much like that. I'd be interested to know actually, Izzy, if they have an Australian audio narrator or a American one.
Hold on.
So you'll have to let me know.
Can you sample it?
Audible sample. She's kind of British sounding.
That'll be an Australian one. Yeah, it'll be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's British sounding. So there you go. So I guess yes, but it's
okay.
Yeah, it's weird. So it's not like you sound. It's like a weird tilt towards the British more.
Yeah, it'll be someone who speaks. It'll be someone who speaks correctly and pronounces and enunciates all of their sounds correctly, unlike me.
Whatever. I want it to be your accent. Not.
I was going to say, honestly, sometimes I just put on Steph's video and do something else just because I love the sound of your voice. And you always speak so intelligently. And I'm just like, yeah. Oh, sweetie. It's do you need the paranormal Rex? I have a video up on my channel with them.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, hint, hint.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint.
Yeah.
Start with Spell of Desire and then tell me when you're done. It's only 5 volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
Well worth
that
reading.
one's one of my all-time favorite paranormal mangas.
It's really good. I also would second that recommendation.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I read that one and then I bought
I know.
them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I bought them to read them because I was like, I feel like I'm gonna want this, and I was just
yeah. It's because the artwork in it is so gorgeous.
It's so fun.
Homu Omi's art is chef's kiss.
Spell of Desire, Tori.
I typed it in chat for her too, just in case.
Yeah.
I think you can get it on Right Stuff still for pretty cheap. I got them on super cheap from there.
I put the full thing in there with the mangaka's name as well.
I should probably continue Blackbird at some point as well. I think I read the
Blackbird's
first two,
a fun one. I need to reread it. It's been a while since I've read it. I have the box set, so I can just reread it anytime.
I read like half of that series a long time ago.
I think what I've been doing is I read one and I buy the next one and then it sits there and then I should read the next one and then I buy the. So I think I've probably got volume 3 sitting on my Kindle.
Yeah.
Vampire Dormitory is coming out this month, and that's one that I really like as well. At least physically releasing. You can get it digitally already, but if you want the physical, that's coming out in a couple weeks.
And then you read that one with the blood crystals. I don't know when that comes out.
Oh, Rose and Blood. Oh, that comes out early November. I'm so excited for that one.
I was like, maybe that's sooner than I thought. But
you can request it on NetGalley if you're interested. That's all I'll say.
Biz does not approve me on NetGalley. They hate me. They're like, no.
Do you have manga in your bio description?
Yeah. They do not approve me.
Interesting.
It's probably the 250 books I have out in the 70% ratio.
That's quite possible.
So it's fine.
And seriously, the art for Spell of Desire is
it's
a thing of beauty.
It's fun. It's like kind of campy, I feel like, as a series.
It is.
In a good
I do
way.
think that's like part of
the draw.
It is a bit dated.
Yeah.
Because of its campiness.
Yeah. And it's older, so
but the art is it's above and beyond. It's glorious. I did not like Midnight Secretary as much, but it's the same mangaka and the art is still stunning. Let's see, other fun paranormal ones. There's always Millennium Snow. It's like Bisco Hattori, who did Ouran High School Host Club's take on Twilight. It's fun.
That was a lot of words.
That was a lot of words.
It's only 4 volumes. It's fun.
Millennium Snow?
Yeah.
It's their take on Twilight?
Yeah, it's a girl and a vampire and a werewolf.
Fun. Well, that's going on my wish list.
Well, it's only 2 omnibuses, so it's not bad at all.
It's going on my wish list. I can't buy anything right now, so it needs to be good.
Oh my gosh, Vampire Knight. I won't read it.
Tori, you might want to know the spoiler before you read Vampire Knight.
Oldie but goldie. Oh,
so are there other...
Oh. Go ahead.
No, you go, Laura. I was going to ask the
question.
question.
That's why you won't read it, right? Check.
Yeah.
Because
I
content?
Read it. We can't. It's literally a huge spoiler.
It's like the biggest spoiler.
You know something about the content that makes you not interested or makes you like, that's not for me.
It skeezes me out, and it takes a lot to skeeze me out with manga.
It's a really fucked up thing that happens. Like the entire book, like I've read some of it. I've not read all of it.
Yes.
And
I'm not sure the anime finishes it though.
I don't think the anime finishes it.
And it's towards the end that reveal happens, and it throws off the whole thing.
I would just recommend actually looking up spoilers for Vampire Knight before you read it, so that way you're not like,
especially before you purchase any of it.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're gonna do it through the library, but I debated a reading vlog where I yelled about it.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just surprised to hear both of you guys be like, oh. Because
I know it takes a lot for me and Izzy both to be like,
I love the
anime. The art is fantastic.
But when I heard the spoiler, I said, oh, bless, I never finished that series.
Yeah, the spoiler's bad. It's real bad.
So are there other paranormal romance books that you have planned for the month that you'd really like?
What haven't I read yet is the real question.
I know, you've got to be doing another weird Halloween one from what I've seen. And I cannot freaking wait.
Closer to Halloween. You'll see what I do.
I definitely look forward to those every year now. It's like, you're going to run out of bonkers Halloween crap to read.
I don't think I am because I keep finding more.
It keeps
and
getting
I'm
better.
Like, where
every year they bring it more.
I'm just really excited to read The Witch's Wolves, honestly, like probably tonight. And then I'm reading.
Please
Black
message
Sunshine.
me when you read it.
I will. I'm reading Black Sunshine right now, and I'm seeing why everyone was so split on that book by Karina Holly. I don't know if any of y'all have read it.
I haven't. I know Tori
I can't.
did.
Tori liked it.
I keep going back and forth whether I want to read it.
I think I'm gonna be like square in the middle. Like everyone else on my like friends is like literally like
they
2
love
stars,
it or they hate it.
5 stars. That's it. There is like no one on my friends list really that has a 3-star. I've seen 1 and 2s and 4 and 5s. That's it. And I was like, I'm currently leading it at 3.
Is it the start of a series?
A duet.
A
duet.
Yeah.
One of my coworkers.
Like she's in the minority for loving it.
Oh. One of my coworkers told me on Friday that she had just started The X Hex by Erin Sterling, and she was really liking it. She said she was only like 50 pages in, but she's like, I'm going to read it the whole weekend and then bring it to you. So if she actually brings it to me, then I will feel like I need to read it. Which I'm not opposed, but
I want to read that one. I think it looks really cute. I want to read all the witchy contemporaries personally. And then I want to yell about how shitty they are or good they are, depending.
You can rank them. Like, here's what you want if you want a really good witchy contemporary.
Yeah. Here's the garbage. Don't pick it up.
Again, which place
Here's
is not
the middle
bad.
of the road. This is
it's literally a summer read, though. Like that's what you want. You want it on an airplane. You want it at the beach. You want it when you don't need a high angst and you don't care. Like you just want to be in a book.
Yeah.
For sure.
The third book that I read over the week, like over those 4 days, was because I had a book club coming up, and it was the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which is
I still want to read that.
Like paranormal thriller, I guess, horror, which is not a genre that I read much of, but it was the book club choice, and it just kind of freaked me out, but like it was thrilling, and so I kind of want to pick up like a thriller or some horror actually this month, which is not.
You should just pick up another Grady Hendrix. He has Horror Store, which is like a horror store in like an IKEA.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
And I forget the other one.
My mom hated the Final Girl support group that he did.
I've heard that.
That was the other one.
Yeah.
But everybody I know who's read Grady Hendrix loves My Best Friend's Exorcism and Horror Store.
Okay.
Yeah,
if you want something
interesting. So, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you want something that's sort of paranormally horror-y and very claustrophobic, Into the Drowning Deep by Mara Grant, Sean Maguire.
I'm terrified of that book.
That has been on my I need to reread that book. Because the fact that it's set out on water terrifies the crap out of me.
You don't like water stuff? Like,
in the middle of nowhere, you've got like when things go wrong, there is absolutely nothing you can do. Like that is the absolute worst case scenario. But I loved the book.
Okay.
And see, I've never been like in
like
water
creepy mermaids
when I'm not near a shore. So
I have. It's cool, but like I could see if you were in a horror situation, it would be that much
freaky.
In a boat, like I guess doing it that way, but that book freaks me. I don't know why. That book just gives me it's like that movie preview where like they're just in the middle of the water. I'm like, no.
It's just creepy. Like it sets that tone really well so that it is a really creepy book. But it's a good October read.
Yeah, this one, the Southern Book Club's it's like too long to repeat over and over. It was, if you are like anti rats or like roaches, like no, don't read it. And I did not have feelings toward those creatures particularly, and now I do. So I'm like, oh god. But
it's just it was like interesting. I felt like that book because it unfolds kind of like a thriller.
Yeah.
More than I expected it to. I expected it to be more horror-y than thriller, but I love thrillers right now too, though. It's like the best season for it.
Yeah, spooky season is the best for that kind of stuff. Which is why I made a spooky season manga display at work. It was fun. I guess I put the triggering Junji Ito stuff on my display because everybody else will want it there.
Oh, I know, right?
I'm so triggered just by images. Like, even like the tame ones, not even the ones that are triggering to everybody else. I just can't.
Yeah. Everyone's got their thing that just freaks them out, that puts something into the line of horror that doesn't always push other people's buttons the same way.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I cannot watch
Same.
any
My
scary
anxiety
movies.
says hard
Nothing.
no. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't usually watch like scary movies. And if I occasionally see something, you know, inadvertently or something starts to go that way, I have to sit there and just kind of like dissociate from my own body and be like, well, that's chocolate syrup right now. That's interesting. Or like my healthcare like kicks in. I'll be like, that's not actually what an amputated foot looks like. So that's fake. You know,
I like listening to people
like
watch horror movies and talk about them sort of stuff. Like where like somebody who's afraid of them. Like I love those. Like I listened to a podcast where they did that. That's fun, but I'm like, I will never put this movie on. Do I know the whole plot of Midsummer? Yes, I do, because everyone wanted to shut up about it, so I Wikipedia'd it.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, I do that all the time.
Wikipedia, and I'm like, what is the storyline of this? And I would like read the books.
Usually this time of year, kind of every year, I'm always like, let's get something scary, and so I check out Psycho or Paranormal Activity or something, and I'll be like, it's Sunday at noon, let's open all the curtains and put this on, and I have my finger like over the pause button so I can be like, okay, bathroom break,
we're done,
more lights on, turn the volume down.
That is so me.
I just don't. I gave up. I gave up the battle.
I gave up too.
I don't do haunted houses, any of that. Nope.
With that, we should probably wrap it up. Our East Coasters are like pumpkin time at 10:30. So thank you everybody who participated in Love in the Night. Thank you to everybody who came and hung out with us. We love y'all. We'll keep doing this twice a year as long as we all want to. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.